All right, beautiful soul. It's Orshi here from Wellness Wave Creations. I welcome you on this beautiful day of Libra season, the 28th of September 2022. I'm chiming in from beautiful British Columbia, Canada, and I have been really called to talk to you guys today about Ayurveda. I will be posting this video on my YouTube channel as well as on the Facebook business page. You guys know the page as Wellness Wave Creations. Thank you so much for following, liking all the work that I put out here. And the more you guys like and comment, the more the algorithm helps other people to find these messages. So I really thank you for all of those. Okay. So what is Ayurveda? When I say I'm an Ayurvedic health counselor, people go, what did you just say? Could you please spell it again or say it again? And they really are not even familiar with this really ancient science. As Ayurveda is not merely a science of disease prevention, it is a complete medical science that aims at healing disease or imbalances within the body and the mind. So we look at the body and the mind and saw correlation in Ayurveda, and certainly we do not treat any of the problems as merely a physical issue. We don't isolate the physical body from the entire being, and as that, this is why I feel that if you come to this space, you're already journey ready to explore body, mind, soul, correlation, and harmonization. Something in your life already has prompted you to this space so that you're discovering on all of those different levels yourself, your problems, the root cause. So just like all medical sciences, really, it understands that disease is in terms of cause, symptoms, and treatment. So India's greatest text on Ayurvedic medicine by the Charaka Samhita, says, and it outlines the same three components of understanding of disease, and as it is found in most other systems of healing, it's the same of etiology, which is the cause, the symptomology, which are the symptoms, your body's voice telling you that there is something that is not right, and therapeutics, which is really the therapies that we would then in accordance suggest. What I want you to understand is that there has to be a body, mind, soul, holistic view, wholesomeness of you, how Ayurveda views you. So while there are many therapies and many things that one can do that will affect only the physical body, most problems start in the energetics. And if you do not examine the energetics and what's in that energetic field of yours, your own aura, your mind, your thoughts and emotions that are in the mind, as the mind is not just in the brain, you guys. Think about this, and I will let this linger. Where is the mind? Think about it. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we do understand first your true nature. Then we understand the nature of your disease or problem or ailment. And then, in accordance with these two major findings, we will recommend therapies. So if we don't understand your true nature, and we don't understand the nature of the problem, and I will talk to you guys about what that means really, then how can anybody suggest anything that will actually address the root cause of your issues? So what I am imploring or implying is that when you are in this space, then it means that you're journey ready, you're seeking something, you're already ready to explore body, mind, soul, correlation, harmonization, and connection. Health is the natural result of living in harmony. So, disease is the natural end result of living out of the harmony. So, healing is the process of returning you to harmony. The knowledge of what is harmonious and what is disharmonious to you and to your system is the science of therapeutics. So, in other words, nobody can suggest any therapy to you until they understand your true nature and the nature of your problem. So what we do in Ayurveda is that we will go and dissect these problems. Central to the practices of Ayurveda is to dissect these problems and the knowledge of the 5 elements. And based on those 5 elements, air, ether, fire, water, and earth, are the 3 doshas. Dosha means a default system. Every single one of us has a very unique default system, unique as our fingerprint almost. And so we need to find that unique combination of elements that we're made up of, and that constitution, we call it, has been given to every single human being, every single living thing on earth, in the universe, at conception. So at conception, we have a physiology, a physiological energy force that's being given to us, and that we will be able to break down to the 5 elements, as I have said: air, ether, fire, water, and earth. So every single person, and I'm just going to talk about the human beings at this juncture. We all have a composition, and that composition, what happens is environmental factors, learned stuff, life, gets in the way, and we start coming away from that center point of our own constitution. Now, in Ayurvedic medicine and in my space, if you come to my practice, what we do is we find your constitution first and foremost. So that will be a palette of basically elements that we break down to percentages, and you will be able to see that your original composition is a certain percentage of fire, certain percentage of air, certain percentage of ether, and then in another way to say, we'll break it down to the 3 default systems that Ayurveda calls Vata, which is air and ether, Pitta, which is mostly fire with some water, and Kapha, which is water and earth. So we will take these 3, I like to call them guys, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and we see your percentages of composition of these 3 major default systems. Every single one of us has all 3 doshas in us. The question is, what is the dominant one in your system? And based on that, you need to go and find the suitable items that will match your energetic system, so that we don't have a square peg with a round hole problem. And so there is a lot of square peg and round hole problems out there, which is why Ayurveda is such an ancient science that up to today stands true. And that is remarkable on its own. So what I want you guys to understand that this is what we're recognizing. We're working with the 5 elements, and we're working with the 3 default systems, the 3 doshas. Some people are double doshic, some people are triple doshic, which is very rare, but it is out there. And there's an infinite possibilities of constitutions amongst human beings, which then brings down to this. There is not one single solution that's going to fit all. Okay? So please be mindful of that. There is not one single solution that'll fit every single person. So when you're trying to find a solution for you, you got to understand about your own unique code. Once you have that code, we then are able to respond to your system based on that knowledge. So what's going to happen is that when these physiological energies or fundamental biological energies that are governing you, it'll determine the functions of your body, the functions of the mind. And so Vata, Pitta, Kapha default systems is where it's at to be examined, and this unique balance of the 5 elements and the 3 default systems is basically what will determine your constitution. So wellness code is your constitution. As far as I'm concerned, you really need to find it. So if you need to explore this, come to my space, and we have a wonderful, simple service of finding your constitution. Even if you don't want to further explore this matter, just to want to have your constitution, that is a base that I assess at the beginning of our working together. So once I have your constitution, we then explore where your constitution goes out of its alignment. So then we examine imbalances, and we examine what causes those imbalances in your system. So it is very unique and specific, following your guidelines, your constitution at conception, that you got at conception. I want to repeat this really because it doesn't integrate, I find, when I'm talking to people. And believe me, there is a difference between a knowledge of something and integrating that knowledge into your life, into your 3-dimensional world. So we teach people in this space how to integrate that knowledge. So you learn the knowledge, you learn about yourself, you learn about your constitution. Then you learn about your imbalances, and then we will find the right suitable solutions for you. It could be millions of things. Some of it I can help you with in this space, and many other services I will refer you to the right people who can help you at that level to impact your system. So what I'm trying to say is that this is just where it all starts. It is where the building blocks of life come into play, and they are so simple when you think of air and ether, fire and water and earth, that people are just not even able to think that simple anymore. We don't need to complicate this issue, because nature and the universe and every living thing is comprised of these 5 elements and the 3 default systems. So all we need to do is just to get this template, understand it, have self-awareness, understand what we're all about, understand how we went out of alignment, to bring it back to alignment. But we have to do it on all 3 levels. So body, mind, and spirit. All three levels have to be operating in harmony. One of the ways that I can help people with is chakra balancing. And hey, about chakras, there's just, yeah, guys, I can't even believe that this has happened the other day when I was listening to radio in the car. And I heard, and I'm looking for my notes, okay? But I've heard about, like, there was this commercial, and in this commercial, these people were advertising for a loan. And the woman said, "Oh, my chakras are really not good because I couldn't get a loan." So what I'm trying to say to you, that even in the advertisements and marketing materials of the banks, and I'm talking major tier 1 bank here in Canada, is using the chakras as part of their advertisement because it is such an upcoming thing to learn about. So I want to tell you a couple of things about it while I'm here. Chakras are responsible for storing extraordinary amount of pranic energy and circulating it through the subtle body. So not the physical body right now, but the energetic body, like the energetic space, this aura. When somebody just stands behind you in a store, maybe too close to you, and you all of a sudden sense it, and it disrupts your field because someone just actually entered into your own personal aura. So the chakras are circulating through the subtle body. However, they are more than just simple storehouses and pumps of energy. Chakras are the centers of stored prana, each vibrating at its own unique frequency. So each chakra has energetic connections to your nadis, which is your energetic veins, if you will. And subsequently, then it connects to your physical body. So you cannot ignore chakras. You cannot ignore the energetic center. You cannot ignore the subtle body. No matter what physical problem you have, that's kind of like, it's like gravity. It just falls down to the 3D world. But the problem is in the energetic field, whether it's good, the bad, or the ugly. Well, the good is not a problem because then that's going to show up in your physical world as health and wealth and abundance and the right frequency. So people are attracted to you and your thing and your stuff and your message and your business or whatever you're doing. If you're out there looking for the right partner, if you're out there trying to find your life purpose, whatever you're doing in the 3D is just going to be a trickle down from the energetics that you're carrying. So it's all about the energetic signature. So I know that I'm going into the 20-minute mark, and I kind of promised myself that I'm going to keep it at no more than 20 minutes for these videos. But just know that this is how it's connecting. Each chakra has energetic connections to the nadis, your energy lines, and then subsequently to the physical body. So you cannot ignore it. It just cannot be done. So if you want to heal anything, any problems in your life, anything, then you need to start looking at the energetics. And Ayurveda has the wellness code down to the T on this one, which is why it's such a successful system of medicine and science, as well as it is a curative and preventative system. Primarily, we want to believe that we want to get you at the level of prevention before the problems really start, so that you can take truly in charge of this system, because you are in charge. You know that you are in charge of that system. You have to be in charge of your thoughts, your emotions, so the mind, and then that'll trickle down to the physical life. Whether it is your career, whether it is your business, whether it is partnerships, whether it is finding relationships in your life, whether it's friendships or marriages or whatever you're doing, whether it is a venture of any kind, whether it is your physical health, whether it is relieving you of pain, whether you're dealing with grief, whether you have got inflammatory problems, whether you've got oxidation problems. You need to look at your energetics. And that's where we help you with etiology, finding the cause, symptomology. We aim at the nature of the symptoms so we understand the problem, so then we can understand the suitable, right fitting tool for your system. Some people need to start with the physical body and mind that space. Some people have to start working their way backwards from the energetics. It depends on the problem. There's multiple therapies that can be done and that are done with patient clients of mine in this space in Wellness Wave Creations. And so I see all kinds of problems back and forth every day and every week in my practice. And when I'm talking to you, surely I base my speaking on learned knowledge as well as experienced knowledge in my Ayurvedic space. So no further ado, Ayurveda means the knowledge of life. Veda is knowledge. Ayur means life in Sanskrit. So it's the knowledge of life. So we teach you how to do it, how to live, what kind of elements to expose yourself to, what kind of ways, energies, energetics, elemental stuff you should strengthen or harmonize in order for you to achieve your goal. Okay, so that's what we do in Ayurveda. So if you're not ready to work on all three levels, you're not ready to work on the body, mind, soul connection, then I'm not sure if Ayurveda is for you at this point in time. But if you've grown to that space, then this is the system of science that's going to give you the base code. Then you take that wellness code and you can go to the particular, or I refer my clients to the particular nutritionist or the particular professional, or to an acupuncturist, or maybe an access bar practitioner, maybe a Reiki master like myself. And so we need to know who is your right professional of affecting your system, of your energetics, your electrical charge, your frequency, adjuster, who is going to be your right frequency medicine dealer, if you will. Okay, so this was Orshi. Thank you so much for listening in and tuning in about Ayurveda, the elements, the doshas, the finding the right systems so that we don't have a round hole and square peg of a problem in health and wellness. Remaining yours. See you soon on the next one. Namaste.